webcast from home, you might experience poor audio and video clarity. Request you to be patient and check your internet connectivity. So the topic for today is interpersonal skills. And to take us through this topic, we have Dr. Balraj Saini. Dr. Balraj Saini is a motivational speaker, corporate trainer, and a coach. He has a lot of cross-functional experience in diverse industries and 5+ years of training experience in training industry. He has also been an entrepreneur and an educator. His areas of excellence, he's experienced in leadership training, team building, customer centricity, emotional intelligence, personal effectiveness, coaching, and mentoring. His clients are Airtel, Axis Bank, Hero Motorcorp, Wipro, and so on. I would welcome sir, and now would hand over the mic to him. You can take this forward from here, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyanka. Very good morning, friends. It gives me immense pleasure to be on this platform to discuss interpersonal skills with you. I feel highly indebted and thankful to Dr. Reddy's DRFHE for this opportunity, and I'm also very thankful to each of you for joining in, for discussing this session on interpersonal skills. And before we start, a big round of applause for each of you. Because it's because of you, because each of you and your efforts, Dr. Reddy's is an awesome, amazing, a wonderful organization. So your efforts make it the kind of brand, a good organization to work with. Dr. Reddy's is. So let's start with our topic, which is interpersonal skills. So before we start, what are interpersonal skills? Let's talk about the difference between inter and intra. And I'll request each of you to please use the chat box. Let's make it interactive. And so I'll keep on asking questions. So if I say yes or no, you can type in Y or N, whatever you want to say. And as far as possible, try to keep your answer in 1, 2, or max 3 words. Right. So my first question is, what is the difference between inter and intra? So I'll request. So what is the difference? Can we get onto the chat, please?
Team, please key in your answers. Difference between inter and intra. Intra is within. Sorry, intra is within, inter is.
Perfect, perfect, Jitesh. And yeah, intra, Madhav. Perfect, yes. So great. That's very right. Perfect. So you do have a good knowledge, of course, you know it, very simple. So intra is within oneself. And inter is among 2 or more units. So when we say unit, it could be a person, family, organization, country, anything. So I repeat, inter is among 2 or more units. It could be one person to another, one family to another, one organization to another, or there could be groups. And intra is within one person, within one family. So taking it from here, interpersonal skills, that means it could be between 2 people, one person to another, one person to a group, one group to another, one person to groups of people, and couple of groups to another groups. So this is what the interpersonal skill is. So defining it, interpersonal skills are the life skills we use every day to communicate and interact with other people, both individually and in groups. Very simple. So the keyword is life skills. So I would want you to very quickly write, what do we mean by life skills? 1, 2, or maximum 3 lines. So I'll request everybody to be on chat mode, right? And just type in. So what do we mean by life skills? Interpersonal skills are the life skills We use every day to communicate and interact with other people, both individually and in groups. So please
Team
get on.
clean your answers. What is life skills? Tactics we use in our communication and conversation.
Okay.
Understand others' feelings and thoughts, behavior.
Mohsin says life skills which thrive through life. Perfect. So communication, collaboration, very nice. Way of behavior, day-to-day skills, very nice. Adaptive behavior, empathy, Rajn Ryan says perfect, perfect, very nice. A skill that is necessary for full participation, Rehan says listening, perfect, yeah. So life skill basically means that it is not only for a profession, it is relevant to each and every step throughout our life, wherever we are, whether we are at home, whether we are walking in the road, whether we've gone for a movie or we are at work. So this skill is very, very important. So it takes us through the each and every step, each and every aspect of life. So this is very, very important that way. So this is what it means. And of course, the way we talk, the way we behave with other people, whether one-to-one or in groups. So these are the interpersonal skills. Thank you for being interactive and keep writing in, and you can also send in your questions. Priyanka would keep a note of it and we would take the questions at the end of the session. And if I want some question very relevant, I might take that in the middle of the session as well, but we'll prefer that we do it at the end of the session. We'll have about 10 to 15 minutes for the Q&A. But you feel free to keep writing in questions, and Priyanka, you can make a note of the questions, please, if you have some on the chat coming in.
Sure.
Thank you. So why do we need good interpersonal skills? On a regular basis, personally and professionally, we deal with. Yeah, so I want you to type in please. So we deal with whatever comes to your mind. So we deal with. So please write in.
People. Emotions.
Certainly, very nice. Yes, Asta says people, certainly human. Yes. Perfect. Yes, exactly. And it's people, people, and people. See, it could be in a different way. When I'm at home, it could be my father, brother, sister, husband, wife. When I'm outside in the road, right, it could be a stranger. When I'm in the organization, humans, the thinking animal, Jitesh says, wonderful. Deepak says, people, certainly, very nice. Keep writing in. Exactly. Surroundings, yes. Right? So in the organization, it could be my reporting manager, my boss, my colleagues, my juniors, everybody, right? So of course, that means life is about people, people, and people. So how do we interact with them? That makes all the difference. Yes, certainly highly educated people and all kinds of people we meet across. Ashutosh says highly educated, certainly, right? To whom we interact, and we interact with a lot of people. We do have a lot of pressure everywhere, Pratik says. Yes, certainly we do have. Right. So let's move on to the next one, please. And why do we need good interpersonal skills again? So please type in the chat box, please. Yeah, why do we need good interpersonal skills?
For getting things done.
Certainly, for getting things done. What else?
Interact.
Interact. What else, please?
And understanding.
Yeah.
To give the next stage business development.
Business development,
Strong
right?
work relationship. Interact in a better way.
Certainly, certainly. Very nice. Wonderful. Some more responses, please. Let's make it quick. 1, 2 words, please. Keep writing in.
Communication.
Sorry?
To convey message in a better way.
To convey a message in a better way. Wonderful. Nice. Certainly. Very important. Exactly. So that means It's first and foremost, I would say, the communication, of course, which leads to, as you can see in the slide, building mutual understanding and cooperation. And how do we do that? See, there's a communication, whether it is one-to-one, one person to another, through good interpersonal skills. We listen very well, we communicate very well, and only then there can be the understanding by the other person. And only when the other person understands and he or she would only be willing to listen to me, understand me, only when my interpersonal skills are good. And then, of course, there's a cooperation. Here I'll add a very quick and a simple example. Let's say I take an auto, or I take an Uber or Ola, whatever, right? I hire, right? And I talk to that person in a very, very rude way, right? Very rude way. And would he be willing to come with me? Would he be willing to take me? Even if it means a little, let's say, a kind of loss for him. Let's say I talk to that person the moment I sit in the auto or in the hired cab in a very rude way. So would he be willing to take me? Say yes or no, please.
No, sir. No.
Exactly not. Exactly. Imagine. So somebody who's willing to undergo a loss, right? If only because I did not behave in a nice manner. So same way, if in a team, at my home or wherever, I do not have good interpersonal skills, there'll be no cooperation, there'll be no understanding. And of course, we always work in teams. We work individually, but mostly we work in teams. So intra-team, that means within my team, or inter-team communication, coordination, cooperation would not be there. And again, not only working in my team with other teams, at some point of time, we are working in a project and in which we have to interact, cooperate, communicate, coordinate with different teams for different disciplines. So that means what we're talking about is working in a multidisciplinary team for a project. So that only it can work very well. The project can come to a very good can come to fruit only when there are good interpersonal skills. And of course, by doing all this, there is improved decision making, and of course, problems are solved in a much better way and in a much faster way. So that's why we need good interpersonal skills. And again, repeat once more, it is not only professionally, at every stage of life, every moment, we require good interpersonal skills. So interpersonal skills are influenced by personality, attitude, behavior. So let me ask you, let me start with behavior. So what do we understand by behavior? I'm sorry, let's start with attitude, right? So what do we understand by attitude? Please type in, please type in. So what do we understand by attitude?
The way a person presents himself.
Exactly.
The way we conduct ourselves. Our perception to see things.
A perception. The way we conduct ourselves, we've gone to the next one, our perception. And let me give you a very quick and a small activity or a question. Okay, so without thinking, please write in very quickly, each of you, life is. Very quickly, write life is. That's a question to everybody, please. Please write in whatever word that comes to your mind.
Life is learning, celebration, joyful, life skills.
Wonderful, wonderful. Learning, joy. Some more, please. Please write in
journey.
Journey. So it shows my attitude towards life. Attitude is what I feel for life, my opinion. So attitude is basically my feeling, my opinion about something or someone. It could be someone, it could be a situation, it could be an organization, it could be country, it could be anything. So let's move on to behavior. So what is behavior? Quickly write in 1, 2, maximum 3 words in the chat box, please. I'll request everybody to write in, please. So what is behavior?
Our conduct.
Our conduct, perfect. What else?
Action.
Action, certainly. Exactly.
Reaction, responses.
Certainly. So that means the way in which we conduct ourselves or act, especially towards others. So that's the behavior. And coming over to the last one, the personality. So what is personality? Please type in your question. Please type in your answers. What is personality in 1, 2, or maximum 3 words?
Character.
Character, okay. A little more, please.
Traits.
Traits, right.
Attitude plus conduct.
Perfect,
Character.
very nice, yes. So personality is mix of my attitude, my behavior, my thought process, right? So what am I thinking? What am I feeling? How am I behaving? My moods, attitude, opinions. And which is most clear in interaction with people. And again, can you see it's all about people? So that means the good interpersonal skills are a combination of attitude, behavior, personality. So is my attitude good? Is my behavior right? How is my personality? Overall, have you seen, I'm sure you come across two kind of people, you know, just a very small one and a quick one. So let's say you talk of somebody, let's say, I'm just say one person. Hey, you should not give any task to that person. He never or she never completes on time. So that kind of personality because of his or her attitude, behavior, right? And there's another person in an organization. Hey, once you told him something, it'll be done. In case there's a problem, he or she would come back to you. But you can be rest assured once he or she has said yes, the work would be done. So this is the kind of personality she has developed or he has developed for himself and herself, which is a mix of attitude, behavior, and other things as well. So if you have any questions, keep sharing in. Priyanka would keep a track of those and we could talk about those at the end of the session. A very, very important aspect, key for good interpersonal skills. The golden rule doesn't work here. We all are different. The golden rule is we were taught that do unto others what you want to be done to yourself. I repeat, do unto others what you want to be done to yourself. That's the golden rule. The platinum rule says treat others the way they want to be treated. I repeat, treat others the way they want to be treated. And we'll talk more about it in detail. And this is what we're going to be talking about further in detail. So where we come to the personality styles. I'm sure most of you would have filled in the questionnaires, right? So I'll request some of the people who have filled in the questionnaire, can they type just why? Some of you must have filled in the questionnaire which was sent to you by Priyanka or our other colleagues. So I request to type in why or even no if you wish.
So we have 2 yeses, sir.
Great, great. And I'm sure you have filled in the questionnaire, you've put in the points in the scoring sheet, made the graph, right? And now looking at the graph, you can say the top half, right hand side. So if you happen in the first quadrant, which is the top half on the right hand side, you are a socializer. And from here, I'll request that please keep noting the specific main points. I'll highly recommend that get hold of some paper or a pad or something and keep noting the points. That means this chart as well as the characteristics of socializer, relator, thinker, director. So keep noting these points. These would come very handy to you and these are very, very practical things. I've been taking n number of sessions on this, and after taking the session, even during the session or after taking this session and then doing another session, with the same set of participants, they've told me that that's really helps. It's very helpful. It's very helpful. So it's going to be very helpful to you as well. All right. So coming over, people who have filled in the question, make the graph good. Note down where do you fall. So top, upper half, right hand side, socializer, upper half, left hand side, retailer, lower half, right hand side, director, left hand side, you are a thinker. And just in case you haven't, I'll highly recommend and request that fill in the questionnaire, fill in the scoring sheet, make the graph. And in case you feel any problems, you can always write in to me or to Priyanka. Our email IDs are given at the end of this session, this presentation. So let's move over to the socializer first. Socializer or the promoter. They are the ones, and I will at least once, we have 2 slides for each of the personality style, and I would be giving you at least 3 to 4 key points, key characteristics. Though it is highly recommended that you write all these, in case you are not, then you can write in at least those 3-4 key points, which would certainly help you. So they want, coming over to the socializer. So these are the personality styles. So they want to be appreciated. They like to be appreciated. They get appreciated. Socializer. Another key point is that, you know, they can talk to the strangers. So they can go to any group, any meeting, strangers. They can always extend their hand. Hi, my name is Balraj. What's your good name, please? So they are the one who can effortlessly talk to the strangers anywhere. Another key, they're very open, they're very social. They can talk to anybody, they're always very excited, and they can connect with people, and they're great talkers. Another very important point is they can create stories. And they exaggerate a lot, and we talk about that as well further as well. And they're always tossing new ideas. They don't like the routine work. They like new experiences. They like talking to new people. They like new situations, and they're always fun to be around. Then the strengths. They can persuade people in a very nice manner. They can interact. As I said, they can interact with the strangers. A weakness is they're disorganized, careless. So sometimes some of the socializers, they have their table very much disorganized, right? It's in disarray. And also, if you sometimes, not always, sorry, sometimes if you ask a socializer for a document, it might be available with him or her, but then he or she has to look for it. That means a little careless, a little disorganized. What really irritates them is the routine. That means they're looking for changes, new things, new experiences, new situation, new people. And what their goal is, they need to be popular, applauded. And sometimes even people take undue advantage of this point. So for a couple of days, people would keep on applauding, appreciate, and after a few days, they'll request that person who's a socializer, can you do this? That means take undue advantage. What they really fear is loss of prestige, not liked. One fine day get up. I mean, they can't imagine this, that one fine day they get up, nobody likes them. That's going to be a shock of their life. So that's their fear. And what really motivates them is the recognition. So what are the key points? So please write in case you haven't, please write in. I highly recommend and request to write in these points. So we're doing the socializer, promoter, right? And so the key points are, they can talk to the strangers, highly talkative, they want appreciation, they don't like the routine, they like new experiences, and they're disorganized. And just for a couple of seconds, going back to the first slide, if you could just write this, as you can see in the slide, I'm just going back to the master slide first about personality types. Socializer and relator are people oriented, as you can see that as well. That means for them, focus is the people. People come first and then comes the task. So socializer and relator are people oriented, whereas the director and thinker are task oriented. So please write in, I repeat once more, socializer and relator are people oriented, and director and thinker are task oriented. So for director and thinker, task comes the first and people come later. So moving over to the relator, the supporter, again, this person is people oriented. So again, they get along very well. They are also social. open, friendly, like socializer, but a big difference between socializer and relator. Despite their being, they are able to talk very well, right? They're open, friendly, social. The big difference is socializer is a great talker. They are good talker, whereas relator are good listeners. And relator are highly emotional. And another big difference between socializer and relator is relator like the productive routine. They like the routine. That means they do not like the sudden change. They do not want new experiences. They want stability. They want a routine. They're very easy to get along with. And they're timid. That means a little less confident, a little less courageous. Talking about furthermore, the strengths, servicing. The strengths for relator, the supporter is servicing. That means give them some task and they'll very happily do it without any hindrance because they want stability, they want a routine. And biggest strength is listening. They are good listeners. The weakness, they're highly sensitive and they cannot take decisions. And again, here about indecision, I'll talk about two specific things. One is that they need to be pushed. As I said in the previous slide, they are timid. So when they're sitting in a meeting or even formally or informally, they normally need to be pushed to talk about something. And again, so that's one part. So by themselves, they will not take the initiative to put in their viewpoint. Whereas also they sometimes would not like to give their viewpoint, all the more which is very controversial, right? Because they do not want to hamper their relationship with the other person, which might impact the other person or might jeopardize his or her relationship with the other person. So they're like indecisive. What really irritates them is the insensitivity. That means if the person is insensitive because they are highly sensitive, they're highly emotional. And here, they do not go very well with the director. We'll talk about director. Director is more task-oriented. I'm just doing it, clubbing some of the points together so that it gives you all the more clarity. So relator doesn't go very well with the director because director is highly insensitive, right? Less emotional. And relator goes very well with the socializer because socializer, they are good talkers. They are talkative and relator are good listeners. So their goals are, coming back to the relator, the goals are acceptance, stability, right? People accept them and they want a stability. They do not want any changes, right? Sudden changes, those are not required. They don't like the sudden change. And again, very important, motivation for them is involvement. So I'll take a simple example. So let's say in case a trip is being organized by the organization and this person, the relator who happens to be related, is not going to the trip or the picnic or the party, right? But they would want to know who all are going. Are we supposed to contribute something? What happened at the party or the trip, right? Etc., etc. So they want to be involved. They must know everything. So this was about relator. So the key points are, the first, very important, highly emotional. They're great listeners. Of course, social, they can get along. And they are indecisive, they are timid. They need to be pushed. They need to be given courage. So that was about relator. So let's move on to thinker. Thinker, analyzer. So the very first thing is they want to get it right. The focus is on facts and the figures. Always, always. So now we're starting with two people whose focus is they are task oriented. So thinker and the director are task oriented. So for them, task comes first. So I repeat, they always want to get it right. Focus is on facts and figures, and they are the perfectionist. And they always keep on taking themselves to the next level. So once they are this level, they won't go to the next level. And they are highly organized. So they are good organizer and a good analyzer. And they are normally shy, quite cool, and they always want a logic, they always want a reason. and they believe in doing high quality work. And a very important part, not only they believe in doing high quality work, they expect all the people around them to do a very high quality work. So for that, some people find them critical. Please understand, they're not trying to trouble that person per se. It is because they believe in doing a very high quality work. And they also expect the other person to do a high quality work, and that's why they become critical. So they do not want to trouble. So that's why it is. So let's move on to the other part about the thinkers. As I said, thinker or the analyzer, again task oriented. They are good planner or analyzer. They organize very well. Weakness is they are perfectionist, overly critical. Perfect, they are looking for perfection. Irritation is unpredictability. So let's say my reporting manager is a thinker, Balraj. My reporting manager is, let's say, right, and he says, okay, Balraj, you need to do this. So when do you think you'll be able to finish it? Probably by Friday, Saturday, or say Monday. They don't like it. Balraj, you need to be very specific. So they don't like unpredictability. They want accuracy and thoroughness. And see, inherent in them is the fear that nobody should be able to criticize me. Nobody should be able to point out a mistake in my work. So that's the level, that's the thought process they have. And that lets them to move on higher and higher. And for them, the motivation is always progress. They want to progress. They are at this level, they want to go to the next level. They are this level, they again further want to go to the next level. And not only they want to go to the next level, they also want to take their team, people who work with them, to the next level. And that's why they are sometimes critical. Here, I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say my boss is a thinker, right? So he gave me a report to prepare, and I remember last time when I prepared a report about a week back, he pointed out a couple of mistakes. Though I really worked very hard, but he pointed out a lot of mistakes. So I got a lot of flack, a lot of scolding from him. So this time I thought I took a lot of time and really made it very well. So that means according to my standard, I've come to this level. But by the time I come to this level, my boss has already gone to the next level. I'm sure you understand, right? So he again points out some more mistakes. See, again, I might feel, like he's trying to trouble me. No, this is inherent in his or her nature, that he or she is always looking for progress, always looking for accuracy, always looking for perfection. Right, so the keywords for the thinker are focus on facts and figures, get it right, high quality work, accuracy, highly critical, good planner, and analyzer. So these are the keywords. I'm sure you're writing in these. These are really going to be very beneficial, and I'll give you a couple of examples as well, where you can really see that, how this is going to make the difference in your interpersonal skills. So let's move on to the last one, the director. So director again is the task oriented, or the controller, get it done. Work was done or not, their focus is only task, and task. Action, right? For them, it's the action. They are the natural leaders. It talks about non-emotional, but I would rather keep it, they're less emotional. They're highly authoritative. They want it their way, my way or highway. That's kind of approach they have. They're highly action-oriented. Let's focus on the task, let's do it, whether the task was done or not. They can out-accomplish anyone. Give me a couple of seconds, please. Thank you, I'm sorry. So they can out-accomplish anyone. That means they are the authoritative, they are the leaders, right? So they want to be on top, and they can't stand weakness. Again, a very simple example. My boss is a director, and he says, Balraj, do you think you'll be able to do it? And Balraj says, sir, I'm not sure whether I can do it or not. hey, he won't like it or she won't like it. Please tell me whether you can do it or not. It has to be clear. Coming over to some more points. And again, here, I'll give you a couple of examples, 2 examples. Let's say the conversation between director and the socializer. So socializer is the one who creates stories, right? Who exaggerates. So let me give you an example. So the director is the boss, and let's say I am that socializer, right? So my boss, he sent me to a place to collect some money, right? And he says this gentleman would be available at 8 a.m. in the morning. So please go home, and it's for a professional work. And so please go at 8 and collect the money. I've spoken to that person. My boss says, my boss is the director, and I'm a socializer. So once I come back around 12, I report to my boss and I tell him, yes, boss. Okay, so what? So you got the money. So instead of saying, so his question is very clear. Did you get the money? So instead of saying this, I start, boss, I reached at 7:30. He wasn't there. His wife was there. She offered me tea. You know what would the boss say? Please, please cut out everything. Cut out this crap. Tell me, did you get the money? This is director. So I repeat, he is only interested whether the work was done or not, the task was done or not, right? This is director. And the way I was saying, I was creating stories. See, it's our socializer does not create stories, exaggerates out of nothing. There is something, but he kind of creates mountains out of the molehill. So I was creating a story. He's not interested. Did you get the money or not? So this is typically director and a socializer for you. I'll give you another example linking relator and the director, but let's finish this first, this part. All right. So the strengths have the director's strengths at administration. So they are very good at administering things. They are very good at organizing things, taking it forward. So what is initiative? So I'll request everybody to type in the chat box, please. What is initiative? 1 or 2 words. So they're very good at initiative. Yeah. So I'm waiting. What is initiative?
New ideas.
New ideas. Nice. Some more, please.
Leadership.
Leadership. Very nice. Some more, please.
Courage, accept challenges.
Accept
New
challenges,
work.
right? Sorry?
Doing something new to start off. Exploring.
To start off. Perfect. Very nice. Yeah. So taking initiative, that means I start doing something without anybody telling me. That's very important. Initiate, to start without anybody having to tell me, hey Balraj, you do this. No, Balraj does something without somebody telling. So this is a very good strength of a director. So that means they'll think of new idea, they'll do new things, start new project without anybody telling them, pushing them, goading them. Weakness, they are impatient, insensitive. As we talked about previously, they are very less emotional, right? They're impatient. And why are they impatient? See, going to the last point, they always keep on winning. They have lot of projects with them and they work very fast. Since they work very fast, right? So they cannot expect the other person to be slow. So his or her team members need to be very fast, and they're very impatient if somebody is being slow, whether in taking the decisions or working. And what really irritates them is indecision. They're highly indecisive and they expect the other person to be decisive. For them, goals is productivity. The work has to be done, right? It's not about we put in a lot of efforts. No, what was the result? So they talk about the results and the fear being hustled. They are the ones, they are highly authoritative, right? So they are leaders, natural leaders. They push people. So they don't like if people push them. And of course, they want to win at any cost. So the keywords for the director, of course, they are task oriented. The focus is on the action. The work was done or not. That's important, right? Natural leaders, authoritative, and less emotional. Impatient, insensitive, they want to win. They are highly decisive. They don't like the indecision. So that's about the 4 styles. And I wanted to also a small kind of story or an example connecting relator and director. So imagine that relator and director, they have the school going kids and kids, that means the kid of a director as well as a relator, they have the exams tomorrow. So remember, director is task oriented, relator is people oriented. So how does it show in our day-to-day life? So director, when gets home, the very first thing he or she would ask the kid is, hey, you got your exam tomorrow. And how was your exam today? And tomorrow you got your exam, right? So how did you do it? And are you well prepared for tomorrow? And then the director would talk about, okay, how you doing? Then kind of molly cuddle, right? Or caress or love the child. That's director. Focus is first on the exam, task. Look at the relator. Relator would talk, mera baby, my baby, how you doing? Did you have food? The relator would cuddle, caress, love the baby first. And then talk about, okay, so you had your exam. I'm sure you did well. Okay, so have you prepared? So that means for him, the baby comes first. The love for the baby comes first, and then comes the task or the exam. For the director, it's other way around. Great. So this is what we had discussed about the 4 personality style. So why are we discussing these personality styles? So very quickly, I want you to write in your answers. So please tell me, why are we discussing these personality styles? Write in the chat box, please. Why are we discussing these personality styles?
Yeah. For self-awareness.
All right. What else?
Perfect. Understanding ourselves, how to behave with others, understanding others' behavior, improve communication.
Good, good. Keep sharing, please. So why are we discussing these personality styles, please? Keep writing in the chat box, please.
To improve team building, team management.
Good, good, good. Perfect. Very nice. Thank you. See, I cannot change the behavior of the other person. I can only change my behavior to a certain extent. A very simple statement, but highly effective. I repeat. I cannot change the behavior of the other person. I can only change my behavior, that too to a certain extent. So that means if I know the personality style of the other person, I cannot change his or her personality or the thought process, but I can certainly change myself. That means if I find the other persons to be a director, I'll talk specific things. Even if I'm a socializer, I'll talk specific. If the other person is a thinker, whose focus is on facts and the figures, who's looking for the high quality work, I'll talk about facts and figures. I will not beat around the bush. And if the other person is a relator, right, I'll push him to talk. I'll speak a little more. But if the other person is a socializer, I would rather be like a relator. I would let him talk. And we deal with everybody. We deal with our, of course, with our colleagues, my reporting managers, doctors, juniors, right? Everybody. So this is going to help me. I can change, I can adapt my behavior according to his or her personality style. So this is how it's going to help me. So let's have a look at a video, please. So just give me a couple of seconds.
आंटी, तुम्हारा छोकरा है क्या? टेंशन नहीं लेने का, उल्टा करके 2 हाथ मारेंगे ना, सब कचरा बाहर निकलेगा।
तुम कौन हो बेटा?
मुरली प्रसाद शर्मा, फर्स्ट ईयर। टॉप किया ना, क्लास को लेट हो रहा है ना। अगर डॉक्टर ने टेंशन दिया ना तो अपन को बोलने का। हाँ? जल्दी ठीक कर। फर्स्ट ईयर का क्लास किधर है? क्यों बोले तो?
तुम क्लास क्यों ढूंढ रहे हो?
अरे अपन को लेट हो रहा है ना।
किस बात के लिए?
क्लास के लिए। आज अपन का पहला दिन है।
लेकिन तुम क्लास में क्या करोगे?
अपन स्टूडेंट है ना।
तुम स्टूडेंट हो?
एंट्री के एग्जाम में टॉप किया अपन ने। क्लास किधर है? हेलो, क्लास किधर है?
तुम स्टूडेंट हो?
एक काम करो, नाम क्या है तुम्हारा? डॉक्टर सुमन। देखिए आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, अपन ढूंढेगा। ये फर्स्ट ईयर का क्लास किधर है? आगे से लेफ्ट में।
Studies, and I am J. Asthana, the Dean of this college. Please, sit down. मैं आज आप सबको ये बताना चाहूंगा कि हमारे देश के बेहतरीन डॉक्टर्स इसी हॉल में, इन्हीं बेंचेस पे कभी बैठा करते थे, जैसे आज आप बैठे।
कि मुंबई में तेरे को यही कॉलेज मिला था क्या?
आपको गर्व होना चाहिए कि आप इस 125 साल पुराने इंस्टीट्यूट का हिस्सा बनने जा रहे हैं।
अरे अब खुद के सामने खड़ा है, कुछ ना कुछ बकरे लाए।
This institute has a history of producing good doctors, no, great doctors. आप में से कौन अच्छा डॉक्टर बनना चाहता है? Yes, you. क्या तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम अच्छी डॉक्टर बनोगी?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good. क्यों तुम में ऐसी क्या खास बात है?
Sir, I love people. मुझे लगता है कि मैं पेशेंट्स के दर्द को खुद महसूस कर सकती हूँ। मैं डॉक्टर नहीं, एक दोस्त बनकर उनकी मदद करना चाहती हूँ।
I'd like to wish you the best of luck. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
वो बाहर कैजुअलिटी में कोई मरने की हालत में रहा तो उसको फॉर्म भरना जरूरी है क्या?
तुम्हारी क्लासेस कल सुबह 8 बजे शुरू होगी। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
आंटी, तुम्हारा छोकरा
Great. So I'm sure you like the video. Of course, most of you would have seen the movie, right? So very quickly, some of you have already written in, but still, all right. So Priyanka, can you keep writing? Okay, so who was the first one? So Munna Bhai or the Sanjay Dutt? What is his personality style?
Sanjay Dutt is relator. Sanjay is socializer.
Sanjay Dutt is a socializer because he can talk to the strangers, social, open, right? Excited. All right. And then Dr. Suman is?
Dr. Suman, analyzer, thinker.
Perfect. Very nice. Why is that so? Questions, asking question, why, logic. Very nice. And Dr. Asthana is?
Director.
Why is he a director? Quick, quick. Keep writing in. Director.
Commanding, because he is commanding.
Yes,
He
commanding.
has authority.
Authoritative. Perfect. Very nice. Right? Perfect. And that lady who stood up. Of course, there's only one left, right?
Relator.
Why is she a relator? Quickly type in, why is she a relator?
feelings, emotions, caring, support.
Exactly. Feelings, emotional, highly emotional, routine work, right? I'll take care of the patients. Perfect. Very nice. Thank you. Great. So we'll very quickly now talk about how can we change our behavior, adapt our behavior according to the 4 personality styles we have. So, all right, before that, you might be thinking, we have the questionnaire and it takes about 2 hours to know a person. So how can I do that? So this is a very small capsule. Take a picture if you can, or just jot it down or something, right? So this is literally a capsule where you can identify the person. So the very first point is whether he or she is talkative or not. The moment you find out he or she is a talkative, so this is a shortcut method to understand the personality style without going through the questionnaire mode. If he or she is talkative, yes. Whether he or she is aggressive not in terms of fights, but aggressive in terms of taking action, talking to the strangers. So talkative, aggressive, he or she is a socializer. Talkative, yes, but not aggressive, relator. I repeat, if somebody is a talkative, socializer, relator are talkative. But who's aggressive? Socializer. So talkative and aggressive, socializer. Talkative but not aggressive is relator. Coming back to the other side, somebody who's not talkative but is aggressive. So director is aggressive. He or she might not talk a lot. So not talkative but aggressive, director. Not talkative, not aggressive is thinker. So somebody who's not a talkative, so there could be 2 options, director and thinker. And so, but aggressive is director, and not talkative, not aggressive is thinker. So coming out to the last part, how can we adapt ourselves to the needs of the socializer? See, again, as we saw, socializers are highly talkative. So they require somebody to listen to them. And they also, so relator and socializer make a good combination. So if the other person is socializer, I need to listen a lot and be a relator. So they also want to know who's going to be involved. In fact, they have information from all the sources. And they can never say, because they want to be appreciated, they want to be the good boss of everybody. So they never say no to anybody. So they start many jobs and they are not able to complete. And also, since they have many tasks in hand, sometimes they are not able to complete the tasks. So if you're handing over some task to the socializer, make sure that the due date is given a little earlier. So due date is preponed for them, so that even if the delay, they are able to complete on time. And very important, they tend to exaggerate and overgeneralize. Something like, you must have seen Kabir Singh. We had a movie coming in a few months back, right? And so socializer would say, oh, this is an awesome movie. I can see that for 10 times. You go and watch that movie. Say it's okay for once. So you need to temper whatever the socializer is saying. So this is how you can meet the needs of the socializer. Or how do you adapt your behavior to the behavior of the socializer? Then the relator. So relator, again, people oriented, but they are good listeners, right? So they appreciate who are gentle and not brash. So one should not be rude with them. I'm not saying that you need to be rude, but then with a socializer, you can speak on a different level, right? But you have to be very polite and humble with relator and thinker. And director would never let you be rude and brash. Second point which I mentioned, they normally are not able to offer their opinions or decisions because they do not want to hamper or jeopardize their relationship with them. And they also want a logic or a reason. And the last point is, they do not like to work alone. They require encouragement and assurance. So they need to be encouraged. They're a little timid. So you need to encourage them. And you need to listen to them. And adapting to meet the needs of the thinker. So thinker again is facts and figures. So your focus always has to be, when you talk to the thinker, on facts and figures. Talk to their goals. Okay, so what are you doing next? If Balraj is a thinker, hey Balraj, what's your next target? What's your next goal? So Balraj really would feel good because he always believes in taking himself to the next level. Once one level achieved, then going to the next level. And again, they don't like people who come on too aggressively. So you need to speak softly and slowly to thinkers. I've talked about their achievements. Again, they require facts and figures, as we saw Dr. Suman. And since they analyze, they plan things. So once you've given them some piece of information, give them some time so that they can plan, they can analyze, and then they'll come back. And we need to be very patient with the thinkers. So coming over to the last one, how do we adapt to the needs of the director? Director again is task oriented, and they talk to them specific to the point. No exaggeration. They would not like the socializers. The way talk creates stories. Let them choose their own methods or paths of response. They are authoritative, natural leaders. So they want to do it their style. As I said, my way or highway. And just in case you are expecting something from them, so you have to tell them beforehand. Because once they've decided, it's very difficult for them to change their viewpoint or change their style. And since they have a lot of things on their platter, so they work very fast. So if you need to be working with them, you need to work very fast. So that's about director. So that's all. So today we've talked about what are the interpersonal skills. We looked at the difference between inter and intra. Then defining and explaining interpersonal skills. Why is it important? Then the platinum rule, right? Treat them the way they want to be treated. So I'm just connecting to that. That means no matter what my personality style is, but I must try to find out the personality style. And I'm sure with that capsule slide we saw, we can find out, right? And then accordingly, I need to change my behavior. And 4 personality styles we talked about was socializer, relator, thinker, and director. So I would highly recommend and request that just in case you haven't filled in the questionnaire, please fill in the questionnaire, then fill in the scoring sheet, make the graph, and then accordingly what your personality style is. In case you find any problems, any issues, my email is right there. You can write to me, balrajsaini01@gmail.com, or you could write to Priyanka. Her email ID is on the next slide. So thank you very much. This is open to you. Thank you very much for being there, for your understanding, for your patience. Thank you. And it's open to questions. Priyanka, could you just?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. So now we move on to the Q&A. We have a few. So somebody is asking, how can I recognize myself as one of these categories and change myself into the other?
Perfect. Good question. Thank you. See, first of all, in case you haven't filled in the questionnaire, please fill in the questionnaire. The detailed instructions were sent, and also how to plot the graph. So you can easily find out what your personality style is. And then second, see, you do not need to change yourself. The only thing what we are suggesting is looking at the other person with whom you are interacting. So try to find out, judge his or her through his or her behavior, try to judge his or her personality style, accordingly at that point of time, adapt or change your behavior. Change your personality style for that particular moment. And let me also repeat that, even if I have, let's say I'm a socializer, it doesn't mean that I do not have parts of director, thinker, or the relator. It's just that this is my major personality style. So we have all these, but this is majorly my style. Next question, please, Priyanka.
Yes, sir. Amol asks, is director a good leader when compared to a socializer?
See, I really would not say that. Please understand. Just see, because it's not about the task. It has to be a holistic approach, whether in the family or in the organization. If there's an emergency, right? So the focus has to be on the task, right? So let's say we have an emergency now, COVID-19. So we are focusing on saving lives, right? So this is an emergency. So the point is, all are good. The point is, I must understand and appreciate that in particular situation, what is that I need to do. So I might have to act as a socializer at some point of time, but whereas the task is very important, so at that point of time, I need to work as a director. And of course, in case we are working with other people, what are their personality styles? I need to adapt my personality style. So all these styles are good. All these styles are good. Next, please.
Yes, sir. So another question. How do you deal with two directors getting instructions from both of them at the same time?
A very good question. See, first ideal scenario is you could tell them, I've got instruction from this person, these ones, and these ones for the other person, which is highly improbable that they would listen to this. I know that, right? Okay, all right. See, I would say that very politely asking them, that these are the other tasks I have at hand, without saying who's given what. So which you think I should be doing first? Of course, he or she would pick this up. Here I would say, so look at not the people, look at the organizational requirement. I'm not evading the question, I'm putting it very straight. We work for the organizations. We do not work for the bosses. We do not work for the department. We work for the organization. So what is in the best benefit of the organization, I should be doing that. It could be some task of A boss, some task of B boss. But then what I think is best for the organization, I should be doing those on priority.
So, there is a question which is asked commonly by a lot of them. Can you be a mix of two personalities, socializer, director?
Certainly, I in fact indirectly answered that we are a mix of all the four personality styles. See, it is just that one personality style is a little more in me, right? In a higher degree. But even talking about myself, I am a socializer, but I do have the director traits, the relator traits, as well as the thinker traits. And just in case I do not have, I must try to inculcate those. That means I should see if some work needs to be done. I cannot always keep on focusing on people. So I have to get into the director mode as well. And on the other way, if I'm director oriented, my personality is director, I cannot always focus on task. I have to focus on people as well. So it has to be the right mix. How it helps is that, I am aware of my personality style, so I can adapt or change my personality style when I'm interacting, behaving, and talking to that person. And we have a very good statement. Please, you can write it down. Different strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different folks. That means I know my personality style, but according to the situation, I need to change my personality style or my behavior. Yeah, Priyanka,
two more questions.
So look at the time as well. Yeah, please carry on.
Just two more questions. So does personality change with age?
Okay, so if you want a categorical answer, see, we become mature. We have a lot of experience. We know what works, what doesn't work. So I would say gradually it changes, but I would say that it cannot change completely. It cannot have let's say 180 degree. Yes, we change to a certain degree, I would say. But we cannot change completely.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, sir, there is Ramesh Rawat who has done the questionnaire and he's giving his scores here. So, he is asking your opinion on that. So, I'll just give out the scores to you. So, on the O axis, it's 15 and on the D axis, it's 2. So, he wants to understand what kind of a personality style he is and also how can he improve.
No, it has to be, O minus, see, O minus S is how much? And D minus ID. I would request Ramesh to connect with me one-to-one. That'll be better.
Probably yes, Ramesh. So you can just take in sir's email ID. You also have mine, I'm sure. So you can write into me or sir, and then we will answer it in detail. Okay, fine. So I think, sir, now we will have to conclude. So
Great.
on behalf of DRFHE and Dr. Reddy's, I would like to thank you, sir, for taking out time and delivering and taking us through this amazing session. I would also like to thank our sales team for taking out time from their busy schedule and joining us. I'm sure these webinars are helping you. For now, I would like to say stay healthy, stay fit, because good health can't wait. Take care. Bye-bye.
Priyanka, a big, okay, all right. So thanks very much, participants. A big round of applause for Dr. Reddy's, DRFHE, and all the people, Priyanka, Mr. Gunjura, Ravi Kirti, and all people who have helped manage this webinar, and of course, each of you. A big round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.